Yes, this is the part of Art Attack I really like, where I do absolutely nothing and you do all the hard work. And it's brilliant as well. Take a look at some of these. Richard's fantastic collage of Henry VIII has been made with all sorts of odds and ends, including silver foil, old magazines and fake fur. Nice one. And Kerry's used some good techniques on her Art Attack of a tree. The sponged in clouds have worked particularly well. How about this? Perry's abstract acrylic montage. It works well in these subtle shades of yellow. I like abstract Perry. And Lauren has used charcoal and sugar paper for this still life drawing of a spider plant. I like your technique, Lauren. And Josie's water edge scene has a real feeling of tranquility, and the contrasting frame works really well. So how did you do it, Josie?
I sketched my picture out first and coloured it in with pencil crayons. When I was happy with the result, I finished it off with a rectangular frame.
Yep, good tip that. Making a frame to complement your work. You know, there are lots of different ways of making your own frames, and I've come up with a great style of frame that will complement any type of picture. Place the picture that you want to frame in the middle of a big piece of cardboard box card and just draw around it with pencil, then draw a second line about 1 centimetre in from this one. Now you can use a ruler for this to make it nice and neat. The reason I'm doing this is just to make the frame slightly narrower all the way round than your picture. Otherwise your picture will just fall out your frame. There it goes. When you've done that, draw a fancy frame shape around the outside. Now try and keep all the sides the same fancy shape and be as neat as you can. You don't have to be perfect because it all adds to the antique-y effect. Just try and keep the shape the same. See that? Round it goes. Yeah, good. And when you've done the frame shape, you need to draw on some extra fancy detail. Now, you can do any design you like. I'm doing like a curly pattern in the corners. So we go down there, around there. Again, it doesn't need to be perfect. Around there, and around there, like that, a sort of loopy effect. And then do the same thing in all of the corners. And when you finish the curly detail, cut out the middle and all the way around the outside of your frame, and you have a frame shape. And you can always neaten it up at that stage. Then take some PVA glue, the type in a bottle with a nozzle on it, and just carefully squeeze the glue all over to cover the lines. Watch this. There, around there. Keep it going. See that? That's a good idea to practice this on a piece of scrap paper first, and you can always go back over it. But you don't have to be perfect. When you finish in an area, just lift the bottle up so that it doesn't drip. Then, when you've glued over all of your lines of detail, let the whole thing dry overnight, and you'll have something that looks like this. Look at that. The PVA glue has dried solid to give a raised carved effect like on those old gilt frames. And to complete the solid gilt effect, paint the whole thing using gold acrylic paint. Now, it's best to use acrylic paint if you can because it covers neat PVA well. You could use gold poster paint, but you need to mix it with a bit of washing up liquid if you've got no acrylic. Next, to give this solid gilt frame an antique effect, dip some scrunched up tissue paper into some black acrylic paint and just dab off the excess and use it to just gently dab over your frame and pick out the detail. See that? I'm just gently stroking it over the detail there. And you go around the whole of your frame. And when you've done that, you'll have something that looks like this. Look at that. And I've even taped my picture to the back, and there you have a fantastic gilt frame. And you could always do a different paint effect. How about this one? It's a sort of copper colour framing a cartoon. Or you could do a really complicated frame design, go over it in glue, and then do your gold effect on top of this. And look at this, I've put a very gentle sort of watercolour picture in there. And don't forget, you can check out the website for fact sheets on this and all the other art attacks in the show. So go on, try it yourself, a glue gilt frame which complements any style of picture. And I'll see you next time. Ta-ra.